Keeping these things in mind, please carry out your missions safely. For the sake of the world and its history, we look forward to welcoming each of you to the Time Patrol!
Greetings.
Yo. Almost forgot. Almost forgot I was streaming. Just, talk about some stuff. I want to wait to see if that is going. Man, oh man. So much has happened, yet so very little has happened all at the same time since I made that stream that last time. Oh boy. Yeah, can I at least get one person? I know I'm boring, but fuck. I can't be fucking as boring as watching paint dry. I like to think I'm at least moderately interesting at times. Oh yeah, that's what I can do.
Hey! Hey!
Damn, just yeesh. I thought I would have had enough to level up twice. I was wrong. Well, even if nobody's fucking here, I'm just gonna start get to start talking or whatever. Freaking went back. I went back to that stream I did a few times, and I was like, "Fuck," because I kept saying he bought the game, and I meant to say that he played it. So the whole thing about NBA, he was saying that he didn't buy the game; he just went and played it at a friend's house. Which I later corrected I think I later corrected myself in the stream anyway, but I was like, damn it, I couldn't afford to make that mistake. Had he reviewed that stream, he would have crushed me for it so bad. I wouldn't have cared, you know. People misspeak, and I misspoke. Cause what makes me look even worse is he literally says that he wasn't stupid enough to buy it, and I was saying he bought it. Uh, all while trying to make him look stupid for what he said. Talk about the irony at play, huh? One second. Respond to a message. Yeah, no. So I was like just kicking myself for that one. I'm like, damn it! Like that was one mistake I didn't think I would make, and one I couldn't afford to make. And now he's apparently on this tour of going back to what he sort of used to do without getting emotional, where he'll attack, critique, or respond to any content, especially ones that are made about him. So I feel like it's only a matter of time until that stream gets found, which, like I said in that stream, I don't care if he does or he doesn't, but if he does, I'll be ready for it. Um, I honestly can't listen to that dude talk about Dragon Ball anymore because he's been spreading this lie about how Toriyama rubber stamped it. He rubber stamped Daima the same way he rubber stamped GT, and it's not true at all. Anywhere you look online and when you do your research, clearly states that Toriyama was really involved in it. He actually wrote pretty much the whole story himself. The only rubber stamping there is the usual. they just animate what he wrote and drew designs for, which separates it from GT because people for some reason keep thinking GT is canon or confuse it with being canon, and it's not. They keep thinking he wrote the story and drew the art for GT when he only drew the art, he didn't write the story. I don't know why something that's just so simple, the Dragon Ball community fucking makes it so complicated. And it's funny because he hates the community for doing that, and he's doing the same thing by lying and spreading false information about how Daima was written by Toriyama. It even says that he came up with the name Daima because he did another stream about Daima talking about why didn't he just call it Dragon Ball Demon, which I agree, by the way, that would have been a much better name. But he came up with the name Daima. I forgot the reason why, but that's what it had said when I googled it up, that he made up the word Daima. I don't know, but I just, again, I can't listen to that dude. Like, I can listen to him like still, but I don't know. After that stream that I did, and after just that whole debacle, I haven't been able to watch that dude the same.
Greetings.
I just been turned off, and just that whole thing with Zero, I feel like I didn't address it as good as I could have. You know, like my only gripe with him was just that, you know, my point about how it wasn't weeks, it was days, and it doesn't matter. But for the sake of argument, it did matter because you were trying to whitewash Sparking Zero is not a big deal by using what you thought was the fact that the universe just has something come out, what you thought was recently enough to overshadow Sparking Zero to some fashion as to where even with the game, you know, it's still out, it still has shit, you know, keeping people occupied. No. You had it backwards. People are keeping themselves occupied with the game at the moment. So it may be a small picky point, but you know, for the sake of argument, you know, when he was like, it doesn't matter, it does matter. If you're addressing it as an argument, and then somebody retorts to you being wrong about it, you can't just dust it aside and say it doesn't matter. It's not how it works. But like I said in that stream, you know, when you're on a microphone versus when you're on just a chat, it's not really a fair battle to begin with anyway. So when it comes to that garbage, you know, it is what it is, honestly. That and just I've been dealing with a lot of fucking haterade at work. It's annoying. It's really annoying. Like people outright go out of their way down here to stop you from something if they see or feel that it's inconvenient for them. See what this guy got. I haven't been playing online as much because for a little bit there it was frustrating trying to find a fight on here. Oh, and I guess since we're on the topic, KUlicious, as I predicted, no longer part of the league, or now the new fake name, Desolation. New name. That phase will run out in it all. You know what I mean? You knew the guy was full of shit, you knew the guy was a kiss up, you knew the guy was being fake, and you're disappointed in him. You should be disappointed in yourself that you even allowed it for as long as you did. That you even gave him quote unquote protection. That's what's disappointing. No, most disappointing. So, there he goes. Shit. I forgot him. Huh. You could have had me keep it that.
It isn't over yet.
I just wanted to get my guessing thoughts on that about someone else. I really wish I didn't make that mistake on my stream. And man, there's a whole bunch more I can say. Oh my god. That was fucking terrible. Wow. I'm fucked up.
It isn't over yet.
He's gonna do it again, watch. Would have been over like 20 seconds earlier, but not that crappy internet it is. All for one fucking point. I don't know, yeah. I'm watching that guy for years and slowly starting to finally get tired of his content a little bit.
Greetings.
Might even delete this. The hateration at work is just so draining. It's just so draining. Like this one guy, which is one of the prime reasons why I don't like working my morning shifts, my morning to evening shifts in my job, because although nighttime tends to get crazy, a lot more characters show up during the morning to midday for some reason. And there's this one customer I have who I honestly severely forgotten about. He don't want me to take his order anymore because I always get his order wrong. And my manager kept repeating the fact that oh, it's always him. Keep doing it to him. Keep doing it to him. And I'm like, well, I don't remember him, and he needs to speak up. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. And then they did the whole typical manager thing. Okay, well, tell them to speak up. Hey, what do you want? Like, the cliche advice, like, don't be afraid to ask bullshit, even though half the time you ask certain people to repeat something, it doesn't go without an attitude or a fucking problem, which was my dilemma that they weren't seeing. I was like, I did ask him, because I did ask him what he wanted. I asked him, you wanted what again? And I still got his order wrong. So it can't just be me. It can't just be me just all by myself just getting it wrong. And this job is just very good at doing that. Like what seems to be the case with many jobs. Nobody knows how to take accountability, especially when they fuck up as well. They just go to the root cause of the problem and put it all on you and want you to take responsibility for everything and tell you how to be the adult that they're not being. typical 2024 fashion. So I forgot him again. So this fucking guy orders a double bacon cheeseburger. I get it wrong, and he got so upset. At first, I took it because I fucked up. I owned the fact that I fucked up. Right? I own the fact that I fucked up. And I was like, my fault. All they had to do was add the bacon on it, and we had to charge it for the bacon. That's all that needed to be done. Pay for the bacon. They could have just slapped it on there, and it would have been done. This fucking guy gets so upset that he fucking doesn't want the burger anymore. Doesn't want his sandwich anymore. Asks for a refund. Threatens to go over my GM and just go to the new store owner that we have if I did it again. So not only not take my order like he should have done in the first place, since it was such a problem, and I did it 2 other times apparently that I don't remember, because I don't remember his ass at all. And the part that gets me is the fucking idiot decides to show up barely 2 hours later to order the same shit. And it's like, you couldn't have just done that earlier, you fucking idiot. So you get mad because I understand like you getting annoyed in the first place, but you rage quit like a little bitch over fucking bacon. So much so that you asked for a refund, which was understandable at first, since I apparently, again, got this guy's order wrong like 3 different times. Only for you to come back barely 2 hours later to get the same thing that you could have just ended up paying for anyway. Like, people in this state are backwards. Like, I was told I was backwards. No, 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 no. People in whack-ass fucking Florida are backwards. These people are backwards. Not everybody, but a lot of them are fucking backwards. You're gonna call me backwards. I ain't never did no shit like that, let alone get mad over a fucking... I once in my entire life, and I don't even picture myself doing it, unless it was some food poisoning shit, God forbid. I haven't even asked for a refund on food that was made wrong. Like, these people will literally want a whole refund because you put pickle on their burger when they didn't want pickle on it, when all they could have just did was just take off the fucking pickle and eat their fucking food. Like, they oversimplify the fucking simple. No, no, no. I said that wrong. That's how stupid the situation is. They overcomplicate what could have been so simple. No, let me just cause havoc, hold up a line, start a dilemma over one piece of fucking meat, vegetable, fruit, something, when I could just take it off. Because that's the thing I learned about being in fast food restaurants, because so far I've worked in 2. It costs the fucking same whether you have a pickle or not on a fucking burger or anything else, like lettuce or fucking onions. Whether you take it off or whether you keep it on there, the fucking burger is the same price. And the burger is still fresh, for the most part. The only ones I give a pass to is if it's not really cooked enough or it looked a little old. I can give a pass to them wanting that remade. Fine, I can give that. But if it's hot steaming and you mad because some shit is on there or not on there, that you want the whole thing remade or you want a refund, it's just so melodramatic. So fucking melodramatic. So just I was just really annoyed because as well because my manager tends to defend people who don't need defending, especially against me for some reason. It's like even though I get along with her and we joke around, she's one out of the three managers, probably pretty much well, not, almost all of them. Now that I think about it, that's pretty much almost all of them right there. That I just am convinced that they do not like me, especially my other two managers that I will not name. Um, Not that anybody will see this, but it's the internet. You never know. You never know who finds what. You never know who's listening. Um, she just I don't know. It's been since I've gotten here that she would do this, and it's like it's deflating sometimes. Not so much because I want her support, but it's like, damn, like you got to pile on though. Like you ask the customer what happened before jumping on them. And it's like, I'll take the fact that if you're jumping on me, if you at least asked me what happened first before you just be like, why didn't you do this, why didn't you do that, before you just start scolding me for a situation that you didn't even completely see unfold yourself. You just took a customer's word for it. It's just, it's bad. It creates, to me, an unhealthy, it has created an unhealthy environment for me working there. And it's just, after being there for, almost a year now,
Greetings.
it's kind of draining at this point. Uh, it's all the time, and almost everybody there does this thing where you know you make one mistake, and it's like they just treat you like you're incapable of doing almost anything. And I hate when people do that more than anything. It really pisses me the fuck off. Like I had people do that to me in high school with things like I guess like a class project, rarely a class project. More so on things like I guess gym when we're playing a sport that requires teams, and I'll do better on the other team. And I'll every once in a while I'll have that person that'll be like, "Yeah, why'd you do that good on my team?" And it's like, why do you think? Like you were a fucking asshole for one, and two, when it mainly came to basketball, you motherfuckers wanted to be Stephen Curry so fucking bad that you didn't pass me the fucking ball. And then because I wasn't already very good, you don't even give me a chance to at least learn or let me live. Like at least let me take a shot. Damn, wouldn't even let me do that. Like I remember doing so many games during high school. Every time I got the ball, they would scream my name, and it got to a point where like midway to sophomore year and onward, I started ignoring them. Like I got so sick of it that I started ignoring them, and I did pretty decent at that time. So I gained some trust from people who doubted me for the most part when I ended up playing on a team. And then after a while, I just didn't fucking play with them. I remember having this one guy. He was like, "Oh, he's mad because he want to get the ball," and I was like, "Of course I'm fucking mad. I don't want to get the ball. Who the fuck wants to play a basketball game and not do anything? It's fucking dumb. I came here to play, just like you." And then he started saying that I was trash or whatever, and I was like, "So what? You're not in the NBA. We all came to play. You're not in the NBA." High school problems, but just an example that just when people really create when people really create a picture of you, they really set it into motion. And I would have a few people that would say this to me, and I don't really like this quote too much. I find it to be stupid. I understand the meaning, but I don't agree with the notion of it really. And my stepfather, he ended up saying it to me a little while back. I'm sure he forgot, but I know if he says it again, I'm gonna repeat what I'm about to say now. Perception is reality, my friend. I was like, if perception is reality, then reality is a lie. So, as far as I'm concerned, your perception is bullshit. Because how long did people think the moon was made out of cheese before the reality of it kicked in and finding out that it's not? Or the reality that the earth is fucking round and it's not flat, but you still have idiots out there that think the earth is fucking flat, even though you've had literal astronauts fucking go to space, come back and tell you that it's not flat. And if that's not convincing enough, because they like to do the whole, the conspiracy, government's lying bullshit. You remember all those YouTube videos where people, tie a fucking balloon or some shit to their expensive ass camera we could all dream of affording? And it takes them all the way so far up to the fucking sky that you practically see fucking space. And on what do we see? The fucking earth being round. High enough to see that it's round, and the camera will drop all the way back down. It's one of the more fascinating but simple videos that they have on YouTube. But if I'm not going crazy here, that is a thing. It is on there. You can find it. It's not a foreign concept. Look, I'm gonna look it up right now. I want to make sure that I'm not just spewing bullshit here. I'm sure I'm not. But I remember seeing it many, many times throughout these years. This minuscule life of mine. Try and find it. I'm seeing it right now. 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Somebody has a video called Weather Balloon Flight to Stratosphere, and he has it completely uncut. His name is JWA Astronomy. I'm not going to post the video here, but you can find it. I just gave you the name of his channel. J.W. Astronomy with a capital A. I'm already seeing the fucking landscape. Look. Even though you can't see, I'm just making a point. Look at that. Fucking space. And what do we see? A spherical measure of the Earth? You can even see the fucking moon. And look, they'll probably still say it's flat because it looks flat. Not considering how fucking big this planet is. And never mind the giant floating fucking ball that we see in the sky every fucking day. Either way, you get my fucking point. And yeah, just that's one manager. She loves defending the fucking customers to no end. Although she seems to have eased up on the gas pedal there with that. Because today, she seemed to have heard me out. I was like, oh no, I did. It's just I still didn't hear him. I guess I asked him and I still got it wrong. So I was like, honestly, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I did my job. I asked him, say that again, and I was like, and that's the thing. I've asked him before, because I started remembering him a little based on how he's treated me today. I was like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that guy. I still really don't. too much with the getting it wrong part 2 other times, but I remember with him specifically, I have to ask him to repeat himself because he speaks so damn low. And then when I ask him that, he'll say it again with an attitude, and it's not that much louder than what he said it the first time. So what am I gonna do? Ask the fucking guy to oblivion and piss him the fuck off? And then I get into another dispute? Because she kept calling him, he's the guy that you got into it with. Which I'm assuming he was the one I got into it back in July over fucking common sense, even though he had no fucking earthly concept of what common sense even fucking meant. And he needed to look in a mirror and fucking apply it to himself more than anybody else in the room. And it was just so funny because I was telling one of my newer coworker, that I was like, she was, because people were asking me like, oh, where you been? You know, because I had been doing night shift most of this week. Finally, because I was trapped into the 11 to 5 fucking trap house, horrible ass schedule that fucking schedule is. And fucking, I was just telling her like, yeah, they had me doing night shift because I asked my GM if I could do both 11 to 5 and night shift because, one, why not? Night shift always needs help, one. And two, I like it better, for one. I didn't tell them that. But three, is as I just said, I don't like the 11 to 5. And four, most importantly, I didn't think he would just let me get all night shift anyway. So, like, I've gotten to be accustomed to how he kind of runs certain things to where I can look and pay attention to, and I'm like, yeah, he's never gonna let me, he's not gonna let me do it. I was like, and I told my coworker that I was like, I only asked for both because I knew realistically getting all night wasn't gonna happen. And she was trying to be on the positive side, like, you never know, you could ask. And I was like, it wouldn't hurt to ask. I was like, yeah, it would. It would. Now, all I can think to myself is, you don't know such and such, as I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna name names. But you don't really know him. Especially towards me. Because I've been through a few phases. Because he wasn't a GM at first. I had a older lady as a GM, the one that hired me, and then she bounced. Comes rarely, every once in a blue moon, apparently. When we used to have, I don't have a problem saying her fucking name. Fucking used to have Kita, a lady named Kita, who apparently was a general manager and unfit, the most unfit, not general manager, manager, the most unfit manager I've ever bumped into for any job so far. Too ratchet, too bucktooth, too, you know what I mean? Too much, way too ratchety for that job. Attitude problem, didn't know how to speak to people correctly. The rundown. If you know, you know. If you know, you fucking know. No matter, I don't care what state you're from. If you lived in a fucking ghetto or fucking anything, of the sort, you know exactly the kind of bitch I'm talking about. She was one of those. And I felt like turned him, my GM, more against me than he originally was. Because he started slightly getting annoyed with me because of the mistakes I was making and certain shit I did. Slightly, like not too much. But when she came around, she kept doing such a good job of putting me in a bad light that it made him like low key start hating on me and taking out on me almost. There was a couple times where like they thought I wasn't doing shit, and I was. They just didn't see me. And I'll never forget the last time she was working there. She was already getting ready to talk that smack about me, not even knowing I was right there. Already implying that this nigga's already not doing nothing. Where the hell is he? Amping him up getting him upset. And I can't even fucking blame him completely because he's a GM at the end of the day. He's got to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And because I had a string of bad luck to where I was trying to what's that thing they say at jobs that I've heard at every job I've been to? If you got nothing to do, do something to make yourself look busy. Every time I've tried to do that, I would have a customer show up, but I would stand there and like wait for like 5 minutes doing nothing, and I feel guilty as hell because I don't want my manager to get upset that I'm not doing anything. So when I try to do something, they show up, and then Kino makes me look bad. She would make me look bad, and then he would get pissed off because it kept happening over and over again to the point where he started getting annoyed with it. But yeah, she just kept doing that, and the most shocking thing ever was when she left. God, I was fucking happy. He even ended up admitting that as much as he liked her, in contrast to me, even he admitted that she had an attitude problem like nobody's business. And you know what's funny? I knew he caught on to it at the last 2 weeks of her run because of the fact that he deadass told her to shut the fuck up, and I was laughing right on the spot because I didn't see that shit coming, and I knew he was half serious. He was half type playing with her when he said it, but he was half serious, and I just thought it was fucking funny as fuck. I thought that shit was hilarious. I'm like, huh, he did the one thing I was trying not to do. Tell her to shut the fuck up. I was close to doing it because of how disrespectful she was getting with me at one point. Accused me of being disrespectful, even though she started the shit, talking shit. But you know, bitches like that don't like to take accountability when they do shit wrong. So, you know, the usual rundown. But yeah, so I had my tidbit with him, and then assuming that the boy is listening, I'm assuming that's you, um, that one person there. You know who? Uh, ever since she started working here, I'm gonna just call her Brittany Murphy, or just Brittany for short. She would laugh if she knew anything about this stream, and she would know I'm talking about her. It's funny as hell. But I even told her recently that ever since she started working here, it has gotten worse for me. And I wasn't saying that, and I told her she understood, but I wasn't saying that to paint this picture like, oh, it's all your fault, and you did that, and you're making my life hell. You know, one of those things. And no, like, I was like, they have been on my ass after like my first few months being here, but since you got here, it has gotten so much worse. And then that leads me to the next manager that came from another store that my GM came from, apparently. Before he became GM, he came from another store, and he was only supposed to help out for a little while and then leave. But shit happened. He ended up staying, and he ended up becoming a GM. And then about a month ago, almost 2 months ago, early September, I'd say, I felt bad because I had like the worst first impression of her. Like she was telling me to do something, and I'm like, okay, like you're the manager. Like I didn't like say it, but I'm like I didn't see the manager thing. Like she looked like a crew member, so I mistaken her for a crew member, only to be told that she was a manager. Having no idea she was a manager, I was like, I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were the manager. What do you want me to do again? Uh, man, I gotta come up with nicknames for these people. She sometimes called me grandson for some reason, so I'm gonna just call her grandma for the for fuck's sake, for the sake of context. She her and I haven't exactly clicked. Like she's not initially a bad person so far. Getting to know her and getting to know her and getting used to her, but She does. She did admit it from the jump, so I give her props for that. She has the attitude problem. One thing I will give her a lot of credit for is that compared to a lot of people who's had that same issue that she does, certain people in my family, like certain people in my family, who do exactly what she does, the way she does it, she controls herself very, very well. And she will still get fucking mad, but she won't be as quick to explode like I know most people of her personality type to be to do. So I give her major fucking props for that because that's the best self control of temper that I've seen honestly from almost any female ever in my entire life. Ever. And that's not counting the ones I've seen in fucking high school where they're so fucking they're beautiful on the outside and inside. They're attractive as fuck. They're like angels. That's how nice they are. That you can't even picture them being mad. I'm not counting that. I'm talking about regular women that even though you can get along to talk to with, they're not afraid to show that temper, or they'll get mad at stupid little things, or easily get angry, or both. When it comes to that category of women, she handles it better than almost every single one that I've ever bumped into, including females in my own family, both sides, mom and father, both of sides. She handles it better than both of them. And one could argue that it's because, oh, the job professionalism, but my job, niggas are not afraid to cut loose. She's definitely one of them. So I've been fortunate enough to have to run into that with her. Because even though I was pretty fucking close the other day and it wasn't even entirely my fault. Um, just earlier this week, I just had a bad day. I was just not in it. And earlier the past week, I had a bad day. It was last Monday. There we go. It was last Monday. Not a very, like, one of my worst days ever. Like, I haven't had a day that bad since I honestly, like, started working here. Like, that's how bad it was. And the way she was getting upset, the reactions, and just the way she manages certain aspects of the job just doesn't mince well with me that much. And it was one of those things where even though I was in the fuck up, I wasn't the cause of the fuck up, but because I'm the one that did it, I get all the fucking blame. And that's what kept happening. People kept getting wrong orders. I kept giving her wrong orders, this and that, because I'll be in the middle of doing something, and she'd be like, "Yeah, do this, that, do that," and I'm like, "What? Give what? Give what?" Like she'll tell me to give something to somebody. I'm like, "Give what?" Okay, give them their order. Who's them? Like she kept giving me vague. Like she kept like I don't know if you get what I'm trying to like, or I'm sure somebody who would listen to this, I'm sure you can gather what I'm trying to say. Like they weren't very specific on their instructions. So it kept throwing me the fuck off so bad, and it made me look bad, and I was just fucking pissed off because what I said earlier, just literally like 10 minutes ago in this stream, already ended up happening. Fucking, I fucked up a few times, and the increasingly powerful levels of doubt was already like there, despite the fact that one of the people doubting me, I've been working there longer than they have. I have a few months on them. They're trying to tell me what the fuck to do, which is another thing that's been pissing me the fuck off. And she did something I kind of didn't appreciate, where she was like, you want me to bag the stuff?" Because grandma was getting it out of, or she got real mad at one order that I fucked up bad, and it was bad. Because I gave a customer two orders by complete accident, theirs and somebody else's. And she was like, "Oh, I don't told you like to She said that she had told me to do something that she did not say to do. She told me that these two bags go right over there, which was the car that was parked outside. Again, didn't specify who it was. I go and give it to the fucking person, and then it was specified to me that those were the bags that were handed to me were for two separate people. Didn't know that. Stepping out the door. Oh, and by the way, once again, I was in the middle of something. Catches me way off guard and giving me a very vague instruction. So I'm like 3-0 at this point. It was 3 fuck ups in a row. And most of it wasn't my fault. Some of it was, I take some responsibility for it. First one I didn't know, and the other two was just completely I was not the cause of it. I was just the fucking finish for it. I think somebody fucking shows up. Yeah, he's 0, so he sucks. But, so that day was just terrible. And then to get to the nitty gritty of it all, Brittany, she is like the major reason I can't even carry on half of the time now. Like, I've had so many days where I, more than ever this year, have wanted to quit so bad. And she would show up, we would conversate, things would just go just fine, even if it's a mess or whatever the case may be. Like, even if like we're struggling and we're under pressure, she just makes the day fly by like that, and completely eases a lot of my stress. Not completely, because that goes into the next thing I wanted to get into, but for the most part, I'll at least come back home feeling all right. But the thing with her is, and again, she didn't do anything herself. They've seen that her and I get along really well. And you know what that looks like in any job, when it's male or female. She hasn't faced it much. Because the funniest thing that I didn't really get to tell her per se, and I didn't really say it to her because I didn't want to come off like I was fake jealous. I knew she wouldn't take it that way. Well, I just haven't felt like there was any really the right time to say it, for, in the exact wording I put it in. But she just, like, the biasm for her is becoming more apparent each and every day. And I don't care. Because I like her and think she's really cool. Like, everybody likes her. And it is okay. I get shitted on for the expense of it, though. Like, they won't directly, like, bully me or outright say it. But I'll get the cold shoulder. Or they'll get, like, if her and I are having a really good, midway conversation into something, I notice it's only with me mostly, more than anybody else. You could be sweeping, you could be cleaning it up, you could be doing this, you could be doing that. Isaiah, get over here, Isaiah, get over there. Like almost every time we're spotted talking, and keep in mind, we're not talking at every second of the day, Especially at this point, since we caught on to their bullshit, because she's aware of it too. Every single time I'm spotted with this lady, I get called on and I get chewed the fuck up in some way. Every time. Does not fail. And this is the point where it's subtle and it's direct at the same time. That's how crazy this shit is. I gave you the direct version. Here's the subtle one. The subtle one will be a little bit of what the direct one was, where they'll try to get me out of the way to do something. But the way they do it in this version is, hey, can you do this for me? Or like they'll like speak to me in a nice tone. They think I don't see through it. They speak to me in a nice tone. Mainly grandma. She speaks to me in a nice tone to, do something. And I have no problem doing whatever she says. I don't care how you feel about me. I don't. If you're my boss, as long as you talk to me with some level of respect, I have no problem doing whatever you ask me to do. It's how you speak to me. That's really what my only issue with Kita was. Just, I didn't hate her. I just didn't like how she carried herself in communication. For the most part, but Grandma kind of does what she does a little bit. And she'll do that. So she'll do this thing where me and Brittany, if I say her name again, me and Brittany would be just fine because I try to do it anyway because I know they're gonna jump on me. Where I'll try to like mingle with her, like we'll talk a bit, do something, talk a bit, stay busy while keeping the conversation going. Which, at least to some degree, Grandma mellowed out a little bit and lets it go, but I think she only does it for cover more than to be fair. We'll conversate a little bit, but for the most part, if I'm conversating with her or she's talking to me, she'll move me out the way and then start talking to her. And she's done that, I couldn't tell you how many times at this point. It's about to be November in like a week or so. And she's been doing this like all month. I can safely say she's been doing it all month and some change. Well, she'll get me out of the way just to get her to herself, which now after today and last week, especially today to me was I think
Greetings.
what's the term? Was basically my confirmation especially after what I found out 4 days ago or so. I think it's because my manager likes her. And she likes Brittany. Because everybody likes Brittany. But she likes her the way I like her. And the only reason I say this is because today I heard her dead ass say, "Oh, my boyfriend, you use Disney Plus if you want to use it." I'm not gonna lie, I was a little salty because I wanted to make that offer to her. I'll be honest. I was salty about that a little bit, but I'm not usually the jealousy type, so it was easy for me to let it go. And because of the fact that she likes working with me anyway, she doesn't like working with anybody when I'm not there. So I got a W over almost everybody for the most part. I guess specifically Grandma, but I was like, it's like that. And then the other thing from the other day was that she's been trying to buy her apartment or something. She's been trying to, do what I'm trying to do. Get my own place, get her own place. And I caught a tinge of it the other night where she was telling her about, can you send me the address to that place near where you're living at, whatever. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was thinking about this stuff today and I'm like, it's all coming together. I think she really trying to scoop her up like that ass. Because if I didn't say it already, what I found out also a few days ago was that Grandma's bisexual. She has a boyfriend and a girlfriend. She said it. She said this out of her own mouth. So this is not a lie. Said out of her own mouth. So I'm putting all these pieces together and I'm like, so that's why you're more assertive than the GM is. The GM type don't care. He cares enough to. He cared enough for a while to where actually he still does technically. You cared enough for a while to make sure that
I'll wipe you out in one blow.
I worked with Brittany as least as possible. And now that I get to work with her, Grandma is over here on extra guard duty out here. Fucking, no pun intended, fucking super patroller mission out here. Cop blocking a nigga. Hard. And I don't even care that they hating or jealous. It's just the effort of how hard they're trying to cop block is just exhausting. I'm exhausted of it, like real bad. On top of other things that I'm internally going through with myself, and lately I have not felt like a winner, to put it. I have not felt like anything at all. I've been feeling like shit. Like more than ever in my entire life. Still. Because last year was type worse than this year. But yeah, been feeling like shit. And then with just that petty ass shit going on, it's exhausting. It's just really exhausting. That's been going on. And she did it today. Following that, she said I could just do 1 or 2 more things, then I could go. And it was only like 4:35. I get out at 5. She had no problem making sure that I was gonna leave early. Because after that day of my big fuck ups, we just haven't been really talking that much, clicking that much like we were, and like we were before that day, and like you could tell the vibe's different. And then on top of that, what was a big sign for me was the fact that the day that Brittany was not gonna work with me, that Grandma was supposed to come in, Grandma called out. I don't find that to be a coincidence. Granted, she could argue and give the defense that she was fucking exhausted, because I'll give her that. She was tired, but the day before that, she really was. But I took into account that you were so tired that day, you might as well would have called out that day to come in the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was that bad, like any logical person, if they were that tired, would have called out that day to come in the following day rather than wait for the following day. So I just looked at it like, okay, since that's the case, I assume, I'm not going to say it's fact, but I just took it like, oh, so you knew I wasn't going to come in that day, but Brittany was, so you wanted to have her to yourself. This fake-ass high school competition. Anybody that knows me knows I don't like competing for shit. And I'm not trying to compete. I'm just trying to play my cards while I'm dealt with the cards that I'm dealt and roll on. This fucking lady here is like, in a way, doing more than what my GM ever did to cop block me. He was a lot more subtle and direct about it. He was more sly and sneaky about it. She has a ballsier touch to it, which I expected, because seeing how she carries herself for the past going on 2 months now, I gathered as much. So it adds up to my little theory that she called out that day to get the next day, to skip to the next day to have Brittany to herself. She even said it to the GM, because, it started off with her saying, we were her 2 favorites. We were like her babies, me and Brittany. And then it changed to, but before we stopped not really clicking as much now, before we got awkward. Just before that, I want to stress this. It was before it got awkward between her and I that she said what I'm about to say. That as long as I have Brittany, I'm just fine. She's all she needs. So at the very least, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think I have a lot of I think I have a lot of data to go off of to support my theory. But I'm tired of them. I'm tired of my job. I'm tired of being where the fuck I'm at in literally every conceivable way. I'm tired of myself most of the time. And if that's funny, you can laugh. I have no problem. I'm tired of almost fucking everything. Like, at this point. And I can already picture what some Gen Xer would say. Oh, you think you're tired now? Wait till you're my age. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Nobody cares about your fucking problems. I don't care about your problems. We're not talking about you right now. And I'm not there yet. It doesn't invalidate what I'm going to do now. Let's see the other version of this stuff. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Damn. Well, it's only goes usually. Well, if it wasn't for limitations, he would have died, but I tried that dude. Easy pickings. Yeah, so as far as with me and Brittany, the only thing, honestly, standing in between us other than that job is, I guess, a roadblock called having a boyfriend, being in a relationship. 'Cause I don't know what was happening. It was like we were getting closer and closer, and we didn't stop talking, but oh wow, Patrick's wife's name Brittany. That's funny as well. We stopped talking, but definitely more refrained in some ways. I just respected and went along with it. Let everything else play out because that's all I can do. But that's the thing, though. I'm tired of being in a position, whether it's with females or not. I don't care what it's about. I'm just tired of being in a position where I have to withdraw. I have to hold back. I have to refrain. I have to sit and wait. I have to watch and look. And like, I'm just. That's one of the top, at least top 5 things that I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of. How much more I can do it. Like, honestly, like, I don't even know. I think, like, after Brittany, unless you want to do some freaky shit and it's justified if you have a man, I don't want nothing to do with you because I'm tired of this dynamic I keep finding myself into where oh, but there's an obstacle in the way and you gotta play your cards and sit around and do nothing and play this stupid fucking game that nobody knows they're playing. Oh my god, it's how it works. I'm fucking tired, man. Why can't I just meet people like normal, deal with regular trials and tribulations like normal? Why do I have to get the extra? Like why me? Like I don't just go through normal shit. I try to get people to understand this. I don't just go through normal shit. I go through shit with extra steps. That's what I'm sick of. Like I couldn't have just met this lady single. And if she got like a couple of niggas trying to hit her up, okay, that's normal. I can deal with that, honestly. I can deal with it. I'll be annoyed, yeah, but that's something that I could be like, all right, I can see your point. It's part of life. You got to roll with the punches, shoot your best shot, and that's it. I would have been just fine with that. No, she's got a boyfriend. She's got to like me, and then we got to get along. But it's we can't. We want to, but we can't. It's got to be the stupid Shrek love story bullshit. Like it's just got to be all this nonsense. And it's like I don't want to hear none of this fish in the sea bullshit because there aren't many fish around here where I'm at. There isn't a lot of fish, and the fish that are around don't want shit to do with me. Don't even know who I am. And from what I've gathered, most of pretty much everybody at this point, almost nobody likes me here at all. I've gotten into disputes with almost everybody. So I don't want to hear a motherfucking word about there's more fish in the sea, don't worry about it. Your time will come when it comes. When. Whatever. Whatever. If it happens, it happens. It doesn't, it doesn't. Fuck a time. Fuck all that Romeo and Juliet, one day it'll happen, Shakespearean bullshit. Fuck that. So over that stuff. It's sickening. And again, I'm just sick of. I'm just sick of my job. Like I want to quit so badly, but I can't. And yes, that is a cliche that I know everybody else is in. Everybody's in the job that they don't want to have, but they need the money for it. I know. Trust me. If anything, the movies taught me was that, and I've grown up hearing, seeing, and learning how true it is. So it's one thing they got right. I just hate being part of stereotypes and cliches, and I've been part of nothing but stereotypes and cliches almost all my life. You don't need to get depressing, but that is the title of the stream. Just letting off some steam. I'm surprised I even wanted to do this stream because I didn't feel like talking to anybody. But listening to that stream I did about NBA, the mistake I made about saying that he bought the game, even though I meant to say that he played the game, I kept saying he bought it. It just irked me so much that I at least wanted to correct myself openly and just readdress certain things that I felt like I didn't address too well. And how I'm just sick of him and his Daima lies about, oh, he just rubber stamped it like GT. He didn't actually really work on it. Yeah, he did, stupid. Stop fucking lying to everybody. Oh, I don't lie around here. Yeah, you kind of do. You're not a massive liar. You're not a chronic liar. I'm not gonna say you're the worst of the worst when it comes to lying, but you spread the kind of liars that you think are true. And even I'm getting sick of it at this point. Most of the time when he spews bullshit that I know is bullshit, I ignore it. But when it comes to Dragon Ball, I just almost can't listen to that dude anymore when it comes to Dragon Ball. But that's the deal, yo. And it's funny because now he's on this thing of, as I said earlier in the stream, he's on this thing of responding and critiquing any content doesn't matter anymore. It kind of does open me up for a possibility of getting a response from him. So you never know. One day I'll probably just see you stream and it could say True Alpha being a bitch or he's being butthurt or some shit. Some misconstrued lie he'll come up with. And yes, ready to discover that stream, I already know he'll crush that. You're the one that's lying. You said I bought the game and I didn't buy it. I misspoke. Simple.
Fight me.
Now, I personally felt like he bought it in disc and gave it to somebody else, in a way, but I'm not going to say that's true. Because unlike somebody, I don't make assumptions that I think is true based on my own logic and just pass it off as fact. But, this comes to Dragon Ball. I'm just sick of listening to him. The only time I can listen to him about Dragon Ball is if he's critiquing other people. And even then, it's kind of hard to do that because he still says some of the same stupid shit he says about Dragon Ball by itself anyway. Okay, I did that too early. Okay, well, it's not gonna matter. Stamina's slow.
Out of my sight!
Shit. Oh well. Ain't going Ultra Instinct truly doesn't matter. Spam. This is why this guy here is on. He's playing Xenoverse and he's not in fucking not no buddy. Bye bye, bitch. You tried with your dumbass spontaneity technique that so many people in this fucking community like to do.
Get lost.
I'm about to end the stream soon. Yeah, I don't give him points for the whole kill you malicious thing. Leaving. You guys, like I said earlier in the stream, you knew the fucker was fake. You knew he was full of shit. You knew he was blowing smoke up your ass, or well, not really, for that part. You claim to know all these things, and you gave him protection for God knows why, and you want to hide behind this whole thing about how you don't care for whatever reason. The worst thing is the fact that you knew he was doing all these things and you let him get away with it anyway, if you ask me. But, if the next fight doesn't happen soon, I'm gonna... Oh. Perfect. So after this fight, I'm gonna end the stream.
I expect a challenge from you.
This would be interesting.
Your loss is guaranteed.
There we go. You guys have a long way to go. Take it. That's what you're saying about. No skill there. Stronger skill there. That's only thing I Yeah, that's one of the oldest tricks in the book. Get the fuck out of here with that. Oh my god, here we go. I hate nail biters. Got him! The wrap. Please. See ya.
Weaklings are a waste of my time. Get lost.
And that's how you end the stream. And since you're watching, I shall end it in fashion. Deuces, ooses.